Hey TJ, I want to do a quick video just explaining exactly how each tile plays. The tee box, of course, is where you start. Technically in the game, whoever creates the hole decides where you tee off from, but we normally tee off from the blue tees, and that means that everyone has to line it up between these two tees. From the tee box and from the fairway tiles, the maximum you can hit it is 7 tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this case, I could drive it up until that fairway spot. So when you design your hole, you want to make sure that the landing area from the tee box is reachable. So you want to have a safe fairway area of somewhere between 1 and 7 tiles, right? Probably around 6 or 7 to make it a little bit more challenging. So if I hit this shot, ooh, almost cleared that water. I'm on the edge of the water there. So anyway, so that's the tee box and technically the fairway tile. This dark green tile is the rough. And we do have a hazard reference chart. This reference chart also tells you exactly what the mechanic is for each terrain type that comes with the base game, and how you have to hit it. So for the rough, it says any finger on non-dominant hand, but it says the max fly is 5. So now I'm righty, so I have to hit it with my left hand if I'm in the rough. And the maximum now is only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this case, if I did hit a terrible tee shot and I landed here, I could hit it to that fairway tile because it's 5 away, but I have to use my non-dominant hand, which is my left any finger. And I'm in the trees. So it becomes much harder, and that's the beautiful part of, I think, this game. So now I'm in the trees. So the trees, it says middle finger on non-dominant hand, and the max fly is now only 3 tiles. And there's an advanced rule where the max fly is 3, 2, or 1. So let's just go with the regular rules for a second. So if I'm in the trees, I now have to use the middle finger of my non-dominant hand, which is my left hand. And I could only hit 3. 1, 2, 3. In this case, this is as far as I could hit it, which means I have to either end up here or here. So this is super hard. Or I could kind of just pitch it to this next rough area and then have 3. So that's probably the best bet here. Middle finger, left hand, boom, perfect. So now I'm in the rough, and then I could hit up to 5. But again, it's still non-dominant hand, any finger. So I am pretty terrible. All right, so now we covered the tee box, the fairway, the rough, the trees. This is a cliff tile. So you can hit over the cliff, right, without a problem. But if you land in the cliff, you are out of bounds. So if you hit that from the tee box or from anywhere you hit it from, you have to then hit it again from that previous spot, and you have a 1-stroke penalty. So if on my first shot, I hit into the cliff, my second shot is a penalty, and now I'm hitting my 3rd shot from the tee box. So I love the cliff tile because it creates a dimension where you can hit over it, but obviously if you fall short, you're in trouble, you're out of bounds. We do have a dark green rough area at the edge of the cliff, so technically if you did that, you're in the rough, so you're saved by the golf gods. Of course, hitting into the water is just like a water hazard in golf, where you put the ball where it enters the hazard. So if I hit into here, even if I end up all the way there at the end of it, I entered the hazard here, so I put the ball there, and I also get a 1-stroke penalty. So if from the tee box I hit it into the water, that was my first shot. Second shot is a penalty, and I'll be hitting my 3rd shot from this rough right here, which would be non-dominant hand, any finger. This is also water. These tiles are the expansion tiles that come with the European expansion. And then in the base game, you have these regular kind of like small lake or just pond water tiles. But it's the same thing. If you hit into it there, you would move it to where you entered, and you'd have a 1-shot penalty. And then the other hazard that we haven't talked about that comes with the base games is the sand. So all of this this hole here is surrounded by sand. So if you hit into the sand, your next shot, let's do it over here. If I'm in the sand here, my next shot is non-dominant hand, the thumb on my non-dominant hand. And it also reduces, if we look at the chart here, it also reduces the max fly to 4. So in this case, I'm right next to the bunker, no big deal, except it becomes a pretty awkward shot. The thumb on the left hand. Ugh, nice, flicked it in, okay. One other tile that comes with the expansion set is this beautiful fescue or long grass. This is super hard to hit out of because you have to use the index or the ring finger, on your non-dominant hand. So super awkward. Let's see what we got here. Not too great. And then on the other side of the fescue, on the other side of some of the river tiles is the pot bunker. Now, I love this pot bunker. I think we explained it in another video. But if you're in the pot bunker and you're in any of this area here where this first line starts, if your ball is in any of that area, you cannot advance the ball forward. You're basically up against the wall and you don't have a forward shot. So you would have to hit out to the left or to the right or even backwards. Now, with this pot bunker, you have to use the pinky of your non-dominant hand, and you could only advance it a max of 1. So if I was here in a hittable shot, I could only advance it right to this next tile. I can't make it in from this pot bunker in one shot. And it's pinky, left hand, super hard. And I am safe there. It's where the ball lands, so the ball is on the edge of the sand. Now, if you were to hit it 2 spaces, or if you ever hit, out of the hazard further than you're allowed, then it's as if you did not hit it or you mishit the ball and it didn't go anywhere. So you hit it again from that spot. Now, you don't get a penalty shot for that, but you have to hit it again from that spot if it advances further than the max fly that's on the chart. So you'll see here the fairway, max 7, rough is max 5, the sand is max 4, the trees. Now, there is an advanced rule with the trees if you wanted to play that way. Basically, if you're going in this direction and you're here, you're in the back part of the trees. There's kind of like 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. So if I'm in the back row of the trees going in that direction, I would only be able to advance it 1 tile because theoretically you're going through a whole heck of a lot of trees and it's harder to advance it. From this middle row, you could advance it 2 tiles, and from this front row, I could advance it the normal 3 tiles. So that's an advanced rule. You can play with it as you get a little better in the game. There's the water hazard, there's the cliff. And this is not really a hazard, but I do want to explain the ridge. Throughout the game, you're going to see little ridges on the course. So if the ball ends up on any of those white squiggly lines, it actually rolls to the end of the arrow. So if you had a tile here, then it rolls to the end, and then you play it from that new tile. So I would be hitting out of the rough. In this particular expansion tile, there's a ridge on the green. So if you come up a little bit short, now you're not putting from here for your next shot. Now it rolled off into the sand, and now I'm pitching out into the green from the sand. So it adds a really fun dynamic of movement in the game. And right now, those are your different terrain tiles. We do have a few other expansions that are in the works that I think you're gonna be excited about. But really, obviously each tile is 2-sided, so there's just really unlimited potential, unlimited design options, unlimited replayability, and definitely unlimited challenges. Thanks.